I would like to announce that I am just appointing Maulana Afthab Cassim as a wakil. In my absence, he can make you breathe.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد صلاة دائمة مقبولة تعد بها أن حقه العظيم. نحمده ونسلم على رسوله الكريم. أما بعد، فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وكونوا مع الصادقين. صدق الله مولانا العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الأمين المكين الكريم. ونحن على ذلك لمن الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. غوث اعظم بمن بسر ساما مدد قبلہ دی مدد کعبہ ایمان مدد قادریم نعرائے یا غوث اعظم میزنم دمز شیخ احمد رضا خان قطب عالم میزنم سیدی یا مرشدی شاہ مصطفیٰ خان زندہ باد. مسلک سرکار اعلیٰ اعلیٰ حضرت زندہ باد. یا الہی مسلک احمد رضا خان زندہ باد. حفظ ناموس رسالت کا جو ذمہ دار ہے سیدی یا مرشدی شاہ مصطفیٰ خان زندہ باد. حامل فیض رضائے مصطفیٰ امداد کن. صلی اللہ علی النبی الامی وآلہ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم. صلاۃ و سلام علیک یا سیدی یا سندی یا حبیبی یا طبیبی یا رسول اللہ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم وعلی آلک و اصحابک یا رحمتا للعالمین. All praise due to Almighty Allah. Durood and salams upon the most perfect, exalted and glorified of Allah's creation, Sayyiduna wa Maulana Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Peace, blessings and salutations upon the Anbiya Kiram, Ahle Bayt Athar, Sahaba Kiram, Khulafa Rashidin, Tabain, Tabi Tabain, Aimma Mujtahideen, Awliya Kamilin, and all those who will follow their path until the last day. We thank Almighty Allah through His infinite mercy and through the wasila of Sayyidina Maulana Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam for blessing us with the opportunity to congregate tonight again, to remember him and his beloved Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and to pay tribute to all the awliya, especially Sayyidul Awliya, Imamul Awliya, Hazrat Sayyidina Shaykh Al-Qaadiri Al-Jilani Al-Baghdadi radiyallahu ta'ala an. Maulana Sahib gave you a very quick synopsis of the discussion that we had last night, and he tied it back to the first night, or rather the second night. And last night, I'm going to remind you again that I recited the couplet of Ala Hadrat Adimul Barkat radiyallahu an. Tu hai wo ghaus ke har ghaus hai shayda tera, tu hai wo ghayth ke har ghays hai pyasa tera. That, and I tried to explain with my weak and minimal knowledge, taking the Sahara of the Mashayikh, especially Sarkar-e Gawth Pak and Murshid Kareem Huzur Tajushariah radiyallahu an, that Sarkar-e Gawth Pak radiyallahu an has been blessed with such a great maqam from the court of the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam by the izn of Allah, that all the great awliya Allah in the alam, in the dunya, whatever barakat, whatever blessings they all attain, they attain it through the sadaqah of Sarkar-e Gawth Pak radiyallahu ta'ala. Okay? This was the gist of what I was trying to explain last night. However, it is not just through the Zat of Sarkar-e Gawth Pak that they attain. Not only through the personality and the being of Sarkar-e Gawth Pak radiyallahu anhu that they attain all these barakat, But their rains of barakat, their barakat and their blessings which they shower upon the others and their communities, even that rain of barakat looks for the rains of the barakat of Sarkar-e Gawth Pak radiyallahu anhu. That is why tu hai wo Gawth. And I gave you in the end the explanation from one share of Allah Hazrat Azimul Barakat radiyallahu anhu कि मदरा चिश्त बुखारा व इराक व अजमेर कौन सी कश्त पे बरसा नहीं झाला तेरा. That all the spiritual and the ruhani tributaries that they are all tributaries of that one great ocean, that ocean of Sarkar-e Gawth Pak radiyallahu anhu, which Sarkar-e Gawth Pak got from the court of Almighty Allah by the izn of Allah through the Daste Mubarak of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. Now tonight, and I said to you, and I ended with this last night, that Sarkar-e Gawth Pak radiyallahu anhu, what did he say? We were tying this explanation to the Qasida Gawthiyya Sharif of Sarkar-e Gawth Pak. What did he say? When Allah's mercy came upon him, and Saqan al-Hub Kasat al-Wisali Fakultu li Khamrati Nahwi Ta'ali. When the mercy and the drink and the sharab of Wisal Ilahi descended upon him into the spiritual facets of his heart, then Sarkar-e Gawth Pak radiyallahu anhu said, I called it, come quickly, come more. And then this ruhaniyat and the state of ruhaniyat that Sarkar-e Gawth Pak was in, what happened? Sa'at wa mashat li nahwi fi qu'usin fahimtu bi sukrati bain al-mawali. That as this blessing was coming, he understood by the barakat and the blessings of that drink of love and wisal and wasl, the closeness in the court of Allah, the condition of the hearts of those Afthab that were in his majlis. Not only Zahiri, but Batin also. Not only Zahiri, Batin also. He recognized that each of them, what they were doing, they were desiring. They were yearning. Oh, because Sarkar-e Gawth Pak radiyallahu anhu, whatever was being manifested upon his heart, whatever tajalli was falling upon him, Sarkar-e Gawth Pak radiyallahu anhu could not keep it hidden, could not conceal it. Why? Because Rabb-e Kainat wanted. Almighty Allah willed that those that are around him and in his halqa should see this tajalliyat of Sarkar-e Gawth Pak radiyallahu anhu, and they should understand and realize that they are in the midst of a wali who is Imamul Awliya, who has reached this level that his heart is like a vessel that you and I cannot understand, in which is gushing the drink of the Wisal Ilahi, the closeness in the court of Almighty Allah. That muhabbat and that love is flowing in his heart to such an extent. But as it is hitting the heart, the vessel of the heart of Sarkar-e Gawth Pak radiyallahu ta'ala, it is so much that Gawth Pak radiyallahu anhu is being able to see everything that is in front of him. And then when that started to happen, from the shares that I've been explaining, I've been taking this Qasida Gawthiyya, so you better understand. We always talk about the karamat, etc., but we want to talk about these rohani majalis of Gawth Pak, these spiritual gatherings of Sarkar-e Gawth Pak radiyallahu anhu. When the Afthab saw what was happening, they all were yearning Abdul Qadir Jilani, but himmat was not there to ask. When they saw this shan and this level of excellence of Gawth Pak radiyallahu anhu, they could not, their zubans could not move. They could not ask, but Gawth Pak radiyallahu anhu saw, he read everything, what each was thinking. And what happened? فَقُلْتُ لِسَائِرِ الطَّابِ Bihali wadkhulu antum rijali. My hal, my condition that is happening and you are seeing, come take a share, come inviting you. I'm inviting you, if you want to reach a level, come and take a share from this. Samajh rahe? And all this was the reason for what Sarkar-e Gawth Pak reached that height. That all those awliya and awliya that will come to till Qayamat, every one of them is a loyal devotee in the qadam of Gawth Pak radiallahu ta'ala an, and every one of them is wishing for those barakat. Because look what happened, for simple understanding. Gawth Pak, when he received this from the court of Allah by the sadaqah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Gawth Pak reached that level that nobody could understand. And all of them, to reach even the first level of that level, they would have to make so much of mujahidah and so much of mehnat. But Sarkar-e Gawth Pak said, you want to come to this closeness? Come and reach a certain level of closeness. Come, I'm inviting you, come and drink from what I have. But all of them were very anxious that this is Abdul Qadir's level. We can see what is happening to him. We can see his maqam. How are we going to bear this? Sarkar-e Gawth Pak, to bear this, Allah prepared that heart like that. Allah made his heart so mazboot that it became that treasure chest and that repository and that treasury and that huge ocean which was able to bear the ocean of ruhaniyat that was descending upon him. But all the awliya were wanting this. I said to you today, last night, that we will talk more about this tonight. And to explain this, I've taken another share of Sarkar Ala Hazrat. I've taken another share of Ala Hazrat, because they all wanted that special blessings. They all wanted to get it. And Gawth Pak Radhiyallahu Anhu was telling them, come forward. Come, aage baro. Come and drink also from this ocean. But they were all thinking, kaise karo? How? Will we be able to handle it? I'll tell you now what Gawth Pak said after that. But to explain that, we took taking one share of Ala Hazrat. Ala Hazrat, Imam Ahl Sunnat, Mujaddid Deen o Millat, Parwan Sham Risalat. Ashah Imam Ahmad Raza Khan Radhiyallahu Anhu is not just called Ala Hazrat like that. He is not just called Imam Ahl Sunnat like that. This maqam of ishq that Imam Ahmad Raza reached is the sadaqah of Sarkar-e Gawth Pak Radhiyallahu Anhu. That's why the great mashayikh have said, Ala Hadrat Azimul Barakat Radhiyallahu Anhu Zuban and his qalam is mahfuz. His mahfuz is protected because of that khas karam of Gawth Pak on him, because Gawth Pak Radhiyallahu Anhu's tajalli on Imam Ahl Sunnat is such. His fuyuz and barakat on the heart of Imam Ahl Sunnat is such. Why is it that you see today, Ala Hazrat wrote Ad-Dawlat Makkiyah so many years ago, more than 100 years ago. Ala Hazrat wrote so many other kitabs. No Wahabara can give answer today. Can't, and they won't be able to give. Why? Ala Hazrat, I said before, Radiyallahu An, is in the hand of Sarkar-e Gawth Pak. Ala Hazrat, Radiyallahu An, is in the hand of Gawth Pak like a pen is in the hand of the katib. Like how the pen is in the hand of a writer, that is how Ala Hazrat is in the hand of Sarkar-e Gawth Pak Radhiyallahu Anhu. Ala Hazrat Radhiyallahu Anhu moves by the ishara of Baghdad. By the ishara of Sarkar-e Gawth Pak. So Ala Hazrat. So we're going to take the share of Ala Hazrat. I haven't even started discussing. Let's try in a short while. Ala Hazrat Adimul Barakat says, Hey Gawth, kyun na Cassim ho? Ya Gawth Azam, Jilani Radhiyallahu Anhu, kyun na Cassim ho? Ke tu Ibn Abil Cassim hai. O Gawth Pak, kyun na Cassim ho? Ke tu Ibn Abil Cassim hai. Kyun na Qadir ho? Ke Mukhtar hai Baba tera. Allahu Akbar. This alone is an ocean of ruhaniyat by itself. Very, very deep discussion can go in this kala, in just this one share of Ala Hazrat. But let's share a little bit through the barakat of our mashayikh and our Budurgan-e-Din. Okay? We don't rely on our own humble in. We rely on the pusht panahi of our mashayikh-e-kiram. We rely on the support that they will put in our hearts what needs to be said. May Allah allow us to say what is haq and make amal on what is haq. Ala Hazrat says, kyun na Cassim ho? Ke tu Ibn Abil Cassim hai. Kyun na Qadir ho? Ke Mukhtar hai Baba tera. Why shouldn't you be the distributor? Ya Gawth Azam, why shouldn't you be the distributor? For you are the son of Abul Qasim the exalted. You are the son, in other words, you are the descendant of Abul Qasim the exalted. Why wouldn't you be powerful when your ancestor is the legislator exalted? Why won't you be a powerful personality when your forefather Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is duly appointed to be Malik or Mukhtar from the court of Almighty Allah. Why won't you have this power when he has that power and he has bestowed this power upon you? So, now talking about the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, before I go forward. When we say, Allah Hazrat says, Barakat says, क्यों ना कासिम हो? कि तू इब्ने अबिल कासिम है. क्यों ना कादिर हो? कि मुख्तार है बाबा तेरा. Your forefather is Mukhtar, he has been given the authority to control whatever he wills in the universe. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Firstly, you must understand, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Abul Qasim. This is the kunya of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the father of Hazrat Cassim. And it has numerous other connotations and meanings. This is, as I said, is the kunya of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And through his blessing, through the blessing of Abul Qasim, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sarkar Gawth Pak radiyallahu ta'ala an is the distributor of the blessings of the court of Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Kyun na Qasim ho ke tu ibne Abil Qasim. Okay, because you are the distributor of the blessings of the court of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is why you are Qasim. Now, to better understand this, that the connection between Gawth Pak and Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is about the one who loves and the one who is being loved. The mahbub and the muhib. And if you look at this, when it comes to the na'at of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you'll see the tajalli of that in a different sense here. Main to Malik hi kahunga. Allah Hazrat says about Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam, main to Malik hi kahunga ke ho Malik ke Habib. Yani mahbub o muhib ne mein nahi, mera tera. So whatever is given from the court of Allah, it belongs to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And whatever Gawth Pak radiyallahu an receives, it is from the hand of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? So the Mukhtar, very quickly let me tell you. Who is Mukhtar? Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Malik o Mukhtar. Mukhtar is one who is duly, specifically appointed and authorized. And Malik Mukhtar, and the Mukhtar is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this kainat. He is the legislator, he is the duly appointed special envoy, the most unique and peerless envoy from the court of Almighty Allah is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And his ikhtiyar, his power is such that he gives what he wants, when he wants, to whom he wants, by the will of Almighty Allah. Because this is given to him by Almighty Allah. Look, simple example. Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu, we heard how many times? Came in the court of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Rasulullah, inni asma'u minka hadithan kathira ansa. Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I hear many hadiths from you, but I don't remember. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what did he say? Qal, ubsut ridaka. What did he say? Open your chadar. And then what happened? وَغَرَفَ بِيَدَيْهِ. Then Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam took his two zahiri empty hands and he put it in the chadar mubarak of Hazrat Sayyiduna Abu Huraira radiyallahu an. ثُمَّ قَالَ ضُمَّ. Then he sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, gather it, put it hold it up nicely like this. فَضَمْتُهُ. And then I took it and I gathered it to my heart. فَمَا نَسِيتُ شَيْءٍ بَعْدَ. After that I never forgot anything in my life again. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. This is the power of the ikhtiyar of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abu Huraira couldn't remember. The Nabi took his hands in the zahiri sense, empty, and he put it in the chadar of Abu Huraira. He never forgot anything after that. I never forgot any hadith. Huzur Muhaddis Kabir says. Allah Hazrat ki umr mein barakat ata farmaye. He doesn't say, Hazrat says that he doesn't say, while explaining this hadith, that I did not forget any hadith after that. He says, I never forgot anything thereafter. Nothing I could forget. Now think about it. Think about it. This one tajalli, one blessing upon Hazrat Abu Huraira from the court of Rasulullah with his both Mubarak hands. Malike Kaunain hai, wo paas kuch rakhte nahi hai. Do jahan ki ni'matein hai, unki khali haath mein. The bounties of both the worlds are in the empty hands of Rasulullah that look empty to you and I. Magar Huzur Muhaddis Kabir gives this another explanation. He says, Do jahan ki ni'matein hai, unki khali haath mein. Only in his hands is this do jahan ki ni'mat. More than that, what can we tell you? That barakat that he gave Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu. Hazrat Sayyidina Rabi'a bin Ka'b Aslami, we know the hadith. He came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasul Pak's Darya Rahmat was in Josh. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Oh Rabi'a, Sal, ask what you want. Whatever you want, ask it." Hazrat Rabi'a, what did he do? तुझसे तुझी को मांगकर मांग ली सारी कायनात. तुझसे तुझी को मांगकर मांग ली सारी कायनात. मुझसा कोई गदा नहीं, तुझसा कोई सखी नहीं, या Rasulullah. He asked Rasul Pak, Ya Rasulullah, I want you of yourself. In other words, I want your rafaqat in Jannatul Firdaus. Rasul Pak didn't say, I can't give you Jannat. He asked for Jannat, he got Jannat. Abu Huraira asked for memory, he got memory. A young woman asked through her father for an itar. Rasul Pak gave his pasira Mubarak that she was mu'attar, her children were mu'attar, their children were mu'attar, their children were mu'attar, her house were mu'attar. The people start to say that this is the house of the fragrant one. This is the ikhtiyar of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. It's a discussion by itself. I don't want to go too far into that because it will become only the topic for tonight. So the point that we are making, that Rasul Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, by the izn of Allah, by the will of Allah, and by the command of Allah, he gave Sarkar-e Gawth Pak radiallahu anhu this authority to give, and he granted him this immense power, and he granted him this immense authority, so much so कि क्यों ना कासिम हो, कि तू इब्न अबिल कासिम है, क्यों ना कादिर हो कि मुख्तार है बाबा तेरा. Why shouldn't you have authority? Why shouldn't you have power? That which Allah's beloved Rasul has given you by the hukum of Almighty Allah. Because you are Ibn Abil Qasim, you are Abdul Qadir, you are the servant of Almighty Allah, and you are the beloved of Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now to better understand this, I'm going to go from where we stopped last night in Qasida Gawthiyah. Okay, to better understand this, let's look at one share of Qasida Gawthiyah. Sarkar-e Gawth Al-Azam radiallahu anhu says, see, before I go there, let's say what we said yesterday. What did he say? وَقُلْتُ لِسَائِلِ الْأَقْطَابِ لُمُّ بِهَالِي وَادْخُلُوا عَنْتُمْ رِجَالِي. Okay, فَقُلْتُ لِسَائِلِ الْأَقْطَابِ لُمُّ بِهَالِي وَادْخُلُوا عَنْتُمْ رِجَالِي. So I said to all the kutubs, all of you come gather around me in this majlis, physically, spiritually, come around me. In this state of mind, now each of you become my devotee. That's what he was basically saying. So I told you that then with his Nazre Vilayat, we talked about this yesterday, that then with his Nazre Vilayat, Sarkar-e Gawth Pak saw that the Afthab were all anxious about how they would be able to bear this Rohani Tajalliyat that was manifesting upon the heart of Sarkar-e Gawth Pak radiyallahu ta'ala, and how they would be able to taste this drink of love. Gawth Pak is inviting them. Gawth Pak didn't invite just like that. When Rasul Pak gave Gawth Pak by the hukum of Allah, and when it came from the court of Allah to the Mubarak hands of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, he was authorized that Abdul Qadir, this is for you. You give from this who you want to give. That's why he invited. That's why he invited. Kyun na Qasim ho? Why won't he be the distributor? Ke tu Ibn Abil Qasim. Or kyun na Qadir ho? Why won't you have this ikhtiyar? Ke mukhtar hai baba tera. When you have been given this authority from the court of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they were all worried, they were concerned in a spiritual sense. How will we handle this from the court of the beloved Rasul? So from the court of Sarkar-e Gawth Pak, which he got from the court of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So to better understand this, what he says after that, Sarkar-e Gawth Pak says, فَقُلْتُ لِسَائِلِ الْأَقْطَابِ لُمُّ بِحَالِي وَادْخُلُوا أَنْتُمْ Rijali. All those that were there invited them, come and drink. But Gawth Pak radiallahu anhu saw that they can't handle this. They worried, they scared. So Gawth Pak radiallahu anhu said, وَهُمُّ وَاشْرَبُوا أَنْتُمْ جُنُودِي وَهُمُّ وَاشْرَبُوا وَهُمُّ وَاشْرَبُوا أَنْتُمْ جُنُودِي فَسَاقِ الْقَوْمِ بِالْوَافِ مَلَالِ. Sarkar-e Gawth Pak said, all of you be brave and drink. Himmat karo, be brave. Sarkar-e Gawth Pak said to them, all of you be bold and drink. Be brave and drink. Antum junudi, you are my soldiers. Allah Allah. You are my army, you're under my command. I'm the one with the authority now. I'm telling you, drink. وَهُمُّ وَاشْرَبُوا أَنْتُمْ جُنُودِي فَسَاقِ الْقَوْمِ
bilwafi malali. Fulfill the goblets of ruhaniyat. The patron sallallahu alaihi wasallam of this assembly is giving it to me. Whatever I am giving you is what Rasul Pak gave me. Kyun na Cassim ho, ke tu ibn Abil Qasim hai. Kyun na Qadir ho, ke Mukhtar hai Baba tera. And the Shair explains this in Urdu also beautifully. One great Burg, he says, Karke himmat sab piyo, lashkar ho mere tum tamam. Karke himmat tum piyo, lashkar ho mere mera tum tamam. De raha hai qaum ke saki mujhe bhar bhar ke jam. In other words, Rasul Pak is giving me by the hukum of Allah. Now you drink whatever I am giving you. Don't be scared. Abdul Qadir is offering you. When Abdul Qadir gives, Abdul Qadir will make the arrangement for you to be able to bear this also. Don't worry, because it is from the court of Allah to the dust Mubarak of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So in brief, what Gawth Pak radiallahu anhu was saying to all the Afthab, subhanallah, they read Durood Sharif, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Maulana Muhammadin ma'adin al-judi wal-karami wa alihi al-kiram wa ibnihi al-karim wa barik wa sallim sallu alayhi. Gawth Pak radiallahu anhu was saying to the Afthab, subhanallah. He said, come forward, come. And you to drink from this sharabi wisal, from this special drink of nearness. And don't be afraid, be bold. Be brave, for you are the army of Abdul Qadir. Be brave, you are the army of, you are the soldiers of Abdul Qadir, who has been given this drink, this sharabi wisal from the court of Allah, by the blessings of whom? Abil Qasim. By the blessings of the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is the distributor of the treasures and the blessings from the court of Almighty Allah. In other words, Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam authorized. Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam authorized Hazrat Sayyidina Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiallahu anhu to be the Qasim, to be the distributor amongst the Afthab, to be the distributor amongst the awliya, so that he may distribute that which he got from the court of Allah through the blessings of Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he may allow you to drink, so you may attain this level of special, you may attain a level of special closeness in the court of Almighty Allah, and you will be blessed then with the special treasures of ma'rifat. You will be blessed with the special treasures of ma'rifat. What does this mean? In reality, what does this mean? It is that Gawth Pak radiallahu anhu recognized and understood the anxiety. As I told you earlier, I'm repeating certain things so you remember. He recognized their state because they saw his shan. And he was telling them, don't fear, be brave, be confident. Abdul Qadir is the one who is inviting you to share. Abdul Qadir is offering you. Abdul Qadir is giving you a share in that which he has been fed from the court of Mustafa Jani Rahmat sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Gawth Pak is actually telling them, if I have to translate it for understanding, he's telling them that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam fed it to me abundantly. He fed me so much that I have sufficient to feed all the awliya till the day of Qiyamah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. وَهُمْ وَاشْرَبُوا. Washrabu, all of you. All of you drink. وَهُمْ وَاشْرَبُوا أَنْتُمْ جُنُودِي فَسَاقِ الْقَوْمِ بِالْوَافِ مَلَالِ. Subhanallah. This is the power of Shaykh Abdul Qadir. Allahu Akbar. When you talk about this and you try to explain, humble and weak people like me and myself, when we try to explain this, you start to think. Okay, we're talking for so many days about Gawth Pak and this fazilat that he has been given, and we're hearing from the time we're children. And still we haven't even put our first foot into that maqam of understanding. Who is Gawth Pak? Radiallahu ta'ala anhu. This is the power of the Qadri ocean. This is the power of the ocean of Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiallahu anhu, and the power of the distribution and the power of his grand authority. Ki kyun na Qasim ho? Ki tu ibn Abil Qasim hai? Kyun na Qadir ho ke Mukhtar hai Baba tera? I'm going back to that. So you understand Qasida Sharif through that also. Okay? Now, it has been mentioned that what Gawth Pak was doing when he was saying this to the awliya and the Afthab. Come drink, come. You are my army, don't be afraid. What was he doing? He was encouraging them. He was encouraging them to come forth and become and to quench their thirst and to taste that special drink of that love and that drink of Qurb-e Ilahi which he was distributing. Okay? So he's saying to them, oh congregation, an assembly of the awliya. That's what he basically, I'm giving you the gist of what was being mentioned in that couplet. I'm giving you an annotation based on the share of Ala Hadrat Adimul Barakat. So Sarkar Gawth Pak Radiyallahu Anhu is basically saying to them that, O congregation and assembly of awliya, Abdul Qadir has invited you to drink from that which has been poured into his heart, that Ruhani vessel, from the goblets of Ruhaniyat. So come and drink from the fountain of Abdul Qadir's heart. Abdul Qadir's heart, radiallahu anhu's heart, is that ocean that became a fountain. What happens in a fountain? It gushes out water. Now that heart got so much that Ruhaniyat was gushing from the heart of Sarkar Gawth Pak radiallahu ta'ala. And they were seeing that. So he was saying, don't just look at this gushing, come and drink. Come and drink from this fountain of the heart of Sarkar Gawth Pak and from the hands of Abdul Qadir. For Abdul Qadir has drank from the hands of Saki Kawthar Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abdul Qadir, the distributor of Baghdad, has drank from the hand of him who is the distributor of Kawthar on Maidan al-Mahshar. Come and drink. So the awliya Allah, we're being blessed with this. And he drank so much, as I'm saying. And he drank so much. The great scholars said that from then, Gawth Pak is saying, from now on I drank so much. Whomsoever wishes to drink from this drink of pure love and nearness, he will have to come to the fountain of Abdul Qadir. From the time of Gawth Pak afterwards, till Qayamat, whoever wants to drink this drink of Ma'rifat, he has to go to the Qadri fountain. He has to go to the Qadri fountain and drink from the Mubarak hands of Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiyallahu anhu. Yani, Sarkar Gawth Pak radiyallahu anhu, ye farma rahe, Mustafa se le rahe. He's taking from Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sarkar Gawth Pak Mustafa se le rahe aur tamam awliya ko de rahe. Sarkar Gawth Pak is taking from Mustafa Jane Rahmat sallallahu alaihi wasallam and is giving to all the awliya Allah. And Mustafa Jane Rahmat Cassim and Ni'mat. Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Cassim and Ni'mat. He is the distributor from the court of Almighty Allah. और गौसे पाक मुस्तफा के सदके में विलायत की उस दर्जे पे फाइज है. Through the sadqa of Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam, गौसे पाक has reached that level of विलायत कि विसाइल इलाही के शराब बांट रहे हैं. That he is distributing the drink of the closeness of Almighty Allah. क्यों ना कासिम हो? Why won't he be the distributor? कि तू इब्ने अबुल कासिम हो, क्यों ना कादिर हो कि मुख्तार है बाबा तेरा. In other words, what we are saying, Sarkar Gawth Pak radiyallahu anhu is taking from Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam and is distributing to the awliya Allah. Now look, I want you to understand something. We all say we're getting from Gawth Pak. Okay, yes we do. But can you understand the level of those awliya that are taking directly from the heart of Sarkar Gawth Pak? We get from Gawth Pak and so much barakat in our life. And look at those awliya Allah that are taking directly, that Gawth Pak is inviting and invited at that time. Come and take from the fountain of Abdul Qadir. From the ocean of Abdul Qadir, what is their maqam? What is the fadilat that they have been blessed with? So all this is the sadqa of the court of the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam through the blessings of Cassim and Ni'mat sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sarkar Abdul Qadir Jilani is blessed with this authority. I'm repeating this so you understand it. Of distributing these special blessings to the awliya, and you can understand it from that share. وَهُمْ وَاشْرَبُوا عَنْتُمْ جُنُودِي فَسَاقِ الْقَوْمِ بِالْوَافِ مَلَالِ. Okay? Now if you want to understand this more, that Abdul Qadir got from the court of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Rasulullah from the court of Almighty Allah. That is why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, hadith of Bukhari Sharif, innama ana qasimun wallahu mu'ti. Other narrations, innama ana qasim wallahu yu'ti. Numerous narrations, Bukhari, Muslim, so on and so forth, where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, indeed Allah is the one who gives and I am the distributor. So whatever you get from the court of Allah, it is through the court of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sayyidi Ala Hadrat has written a detailed explanation on this here. So Sayyidi Ala Hadrat radhiyallahu anhu, after saying this, I want to tell you, क्यों ना कासिम है, कि तू इब्ने अबिल कासिम है, क्यों ना कादिर हो के मुख्तार है, बाबा तेरा, talking about the authority of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Say one time Subhanallah. To plant a tree in Jannat. Why? Because you're saying Subhanallah upon what I'm going to tell you, what Ala Hadrat wrote. When it comes to the shan of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the distribution from the court of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ala Hadrat says, unka hukm jahan mein nafiz, kabza kul pe rakhte ye hai. Ala Hadrat says, unka hukm jahan mein nafiz, kabza kul pe rakhte ye hai. कादिर कुल के नाइब अकबर, कुन का रंग दिखाते ये है, उनके हाथ में हर कुंजी है, मालिक कुल कहलाते ये है, रब है मुअती, ये है कासिम, रिज़्क उसका है खिलाते ये है. This is the quote of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now if I tell you this in English for the young children who don't understand Urdu language, his grand command throughout the universe is prevailing. Whose grand command? Rasulullah. His grand command throughout the universe is prevailing. Control over everything. He is appropriately keeping. The grandest envoy of the all-powerful he is being. The color of B, kun. The color of B, he is clearly exhibiting. And in his sacred hand are the keys to everything. In his sacred hand, sallallahu alaihi wasallam's hand, are the keys to everything. He is known as the owner, the master of everything. And the creator is the giver. He is the one distributing. The creator is the giver. He is the one distributing. Sustenance is Allah's. He is the one feeding. Who? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now after looking at this ash'ar of Ala Hadrat, Azimul Barakat, to understand it even better, before I remind you of the first chapter that I read, even better, you look at what our Murshid, Huzur Tajushariah, radiyallahu anh, said. What did he say? Jahan bani ata kar de, bhari jannat hiba kar de, Nabi Mukhtar hai kul hai, jisko jo chahe ata kar de. So Nabi is Mukhtar hai kul. Ala Hadrat says, kyun na Qasim ho, ke tu Ibn Abil Qasim hai, kyun na Qadir ho, ke Mukhtar hai Baba tera. Why won't you have authority when the duly authorized is your beloved forefather Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And you know, we can go a little bit further, 5 minutes today, 5 minutes more, and then we can continue from tomorrow. When Sarkar-e Gawth Pak radiyallahu anhu, let me leave this part for tomorrow and tell you something else today before I go any further. After وَهُمُّ وَاشْرَبُوا أَنْتُمْ جُنُودِي فَسَاقِي الْقَوْمِ بِالْوَافِ مَلَالِي. What happened after that, I'll tell you tomorrow. But I want to explain something very important. You must understand that whatever I'm telling you right now, and you look at all the ashar that I've explained of Ala Hadrat, and then you look at these words of Gawth Pak himself, what do you ascertain from it? I'm going to end with this today. You ascertain that all the awliya have attained and continue to attain tremendous blessings through Huzur Gawth Pak. All of them. Radiyallahu anhu. Huzur Gawth Pak has been blessed with the blessings of the seas, of the oceans of Shariat and Tariqat. Let me prove this. I've already proved it over the last few days. From the words of Gawth Pak, right? But Hazrat Sayyidi Baqa radiyallahu anhu states that once he accompanied Sarkar-e Gawth Pak, he went with Gawth Pak radiallahu anhu to the mazar of Sayyidina Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal radiallahu anhu. To the mazar of Sayyidina Ahmad ibn Hanbal radiallahu anhu. He says, I saw, Sayyidina Baqa went with Hazrat Gawth Pak. He says, I saw Hazrat Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal's qabr sharif split open. Allahu Akbar. His qabr split open, and I saw him come out of his qabr sharif. Allahu Akbar. After his wisal, I saw him come out of his qabr, and he embraced Huzur Gawth Azam radiyallahu anhu, and he said, even I take from you in Shariat and Tariqat to Abdul Qadir. This is the shan of Gawth Pak. This is the shan. All the awliya, jo wali qabl the ya baad huए ya होंगे, सब अदब रखते हैं दिल में मेरे आका तेरा. Why? Because they know कि क्यों ना कासिम है हो कि तुम इब्न अबिल कासिम हो, क्यों ना कादिर हो कि मुख्तार है बाबा तेरा. You know, once Hazrat Sayyidina Imam Batahi radiyallahu anhu, he went to the court of Shaykh Ahmad Kabir radiyallahu anhu, and he said that Hazrat Sayyidina Shaykh Ahmad Kabir said to me, do you know anything about the condition of Shaykh Abdul Qadir? Do you know anything about Shaykh Abdul Qadir? Tell me about him. So he says, when I heard this, I started to praise Sarkar-e Gawth Pak radiallahu anhu and say that I knew concerning him this and I knew concerning him that. And then I said as much as I knew to him. And then I kept quiet. Because I said almost everything that I knew. I carried on speaking till I finished. He said, Hazrat Sayyidina Shaykh Ahmad Kabir radiallahu anhu looked at me and he said, do you know who Abdul Qadir is? He said, let me tell you. On his right is the ocean of Shariat. On his right is the ocean of Shariat. And on his left is the ocean of Tariqat. On his right is the ocean of Shariat. And on his left is the ocean of Tariqat. From this he gives to whom he desires. And in this zamana there is no one equal to him. That word of Shaykh Ahmad Kabir should be a lesson to those who say that Gawth Pak is the Gawth of his zamana only. Not after that. They misunderstood. He said in this era there is none equal to him. He was telling you, when in this era there is none equal to him, then in the future where there is going to be anybody equal to him. Huh? This is the shan of Sarkar Gawth Pak, radiyallahu ta'ala. But some fools still will not understand. I will inshallah tomorrow, I've taken enough time today, tomorrow inshallah Al-Azam, I will explain the next stage of that Qasida Gawthiyya Sharif. I don't think I will finish all the ash'ar. I'm actually, the intention was to explain the ash'ar of Allah. But I found that they connect very beautifully to the ash'ar that came out from the blessed zuban of Sarkar Gawth Pak, radiyallahu anhu. So we better understand that Ruhani Maqam. We know who Gawth Pak in the sense that he's our Gawth and he's our Shaykh and whatever. But know what is his Maqam in the circle of the awliya. This is what we're trying to explain over these last few days. In the assembly of the awliya Allah, that whatever they got from the court of Sarkar Gawth Pak, radiyallahu anhu. So, क्यों ना Cassim हो या Gawth Azam कि तू इब्ने अबिल Cassim है, क्यों ना Qadir हो कि मुख्तार है बाबा तेरा. And again, as I say every day before I finish, Iman keeps strong. The floods are coming from all sides. The floods of fitna, the floods of Shiaism, Rafziyat, all these other Wahhabi, Deobandi, etc. all now coming. And you know one big thing that's happening. People are looking at the world politics. They're looking at the world politics. And they're saying, hey, look Iran, what it's doing. So a lot of people are getting impressed by that activity, so-called activity. And you say, oh, let's pray, no need. Kuch bhi kare, bad mazhab rahega. Don't get caught in this. Don't get carried away in this flood. You worry about your iman and your aqidah. And you pick up your hand in the darbar of Sarkar Gawth Pak and say, Ya Gawth Pak, make karam by the hukum of Allah upon the Sunni Muslims of Palestine. Samajh rahe? Make dua for them. But don't say because one bad mazhab went and did this, let's all now join hand. Ye nahi chalega. Okay? Don't listen to what their i'lan is. You listen to what the i'lan of the Quran is. What the i'lan of the hadith is. What the i'lan of the awliya and our mashayikha. Then you will be protected. Because look, it's becoming so frightening. If we're not going to be strict, okay, in inverted commas people call it extreme. If we're not going to be strict, I'm worried looking at our children. And then their children. And I've said this before and I'm going to end with this. Whatever we do now impacts on our distant future. Whatever we do now impacts on our distant future. If we keep our children's iman mazboot and don't allow them with bad mazhabs, and even those fools who sit with bad mazhabs or befriend bad mazhabs. That's what Tajushariah said, no? Agents of unholy unity. If we do not protect you, I, everybody, what's going to happen? Next generation, their children will become worse than what they would have been. Allah nakal. Theirs will become worse than what they are. Theirs will become worse than what they are. In the end, there's only going to be two jamaats. There's only going to be two jamaats. One of Dajjal and one of Hadrat Sayyidina Imam Mahdi. If you want your last generation that is still alive if at that time to join in the jamaat of Hadrat Imam Mahdi, then we have to do what our forefathers did with us. Kept us firm on the path of the Budurgan-e-Deen, on the way of Allah Hadrat Alimul Barakat. Otherwise, there is a fear that that last generation will go and jump with the army of Dajjal. Whatever we are doing now is going to impact on the future. And that is why we are being so strict on this. That is why Sarkar Tajushariah went on saying this thing. Radiallahu anhu. That is why Huzur Muhaddis Kabir is saying this. That's why Huzur Qaid Millat is saying this. That's why those who are attached to the grand scholars and the mashayikh are saying this. Because we are Qaadiri. We are Qaadiri. Sarkar Gawth Pak never used to pick up his eyes and look towards somebody who was with the bad mazhab. You understand? So as long as we want to get the tajalli and the barakat of these great mashayikh, we have to keep away. And if we don't, especially for the sake of our children, then we're going to get, a tree grows fruit A tree grows fruit. And people say that the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. But sometimes you need to know the rotten fruit also. The rotten fruit also, ye hal hota. All the fruit are not good. The rotten fruit also will be ye hal. So think about it. Look at what we're talking about, Gawth Pak, about the ruhaniyat of the awliya Allah. From all this is the lesson, very important lesson. Without pakka iman, you can't get these gifts. You can't get this. So Allah give us tawfiq to understand. Allah allow us to understand what our Budurganidin taught us, and let us charter that map which they drew for us. Every day I'm telling you this, 5-10 minutes I'm taking off your time. I'm doing this intentionally, every day, from the first day. Why? Because I love for you what I love for myself. You are my brother. Okay, those that are listening online, our Ruhani brothers and sisters. We want for you what we want for ourselves. I want on that day of Qiyamah, I must be able to hold the daman of Huzur Tajushariah and go in the bargah of Gawth Pak radiallahu, and then in the court of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I want the same for you. What did Huzur Muhaddis Kabir say? What does Huzur Muhaddis Kabir been saying a lot lately? He said, if you remain firm on the maslak of Ala Hadrat, and you do what is right, then I will grab each of you and I will take you to Jannat with me. Why are they saying this? So that we understand the importance of what we have. You must remember, you will only, and let it not be so, realize the value of a precious gem and the value of a precious gift when you lose it. As long as you got your car, example of that comparison, I say, it's okay, it takes me here and there. But the day it breaks and you got nowhere to go, how parishan is it? I'm giving you a simple example. You have gold in your house, you put it in the safe and you forgot it, you never saw it. But when you lose it and somebody steals it, how valuable you think about it? More precious than any of this is Iman and Aqidah. Don't let yourself lose the gift of the pious. Because once you lose it, how are you going to get it back? So keep this in your mind. Let's all make firm niyat that kuch bhi ho jaye, we're not going to leave the tariqah of Gawth Pak. We're not going to leave the tariqah of Ala Hadrat, Hujjatul Islam, Mufti Azam, Sarkar Khaja Gharibun Nawaz, Huzur Tajushariah, Huzur Muhaddis Kabir, which Huzur Qaadi Millat is teaching us today. Allah keep us with Iman, let us leave this world with Iman when our time comes. Those that are ill, Allah grant them Shifai Kamil, Sehat Ajil. In Ahl Sunnah, those that have passed away in Ahl Sunnah, Allah exalt them in Jannatul Naeem. A whole lot of people have been messaging who have been listening online, and they've been asking me to make dua for them. Whoever has asked us to make dua for them through the sadaqah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we make dua that Allah accepts whatever is their nek jais tamanna, and we make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us, all of us, with sincerity, dedication and devotion, and do whatever we do for the pleasure of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. और कुछ रहे या ना रहे पर दुआ किया है कि अमीर नज़ा के वक्त पर सलामत हम सबका ईमान रहे। व मालिन बिलाग बिरहमतिका या अरहमर राहिमीन।